All right, let's take a look at an example. In the figure below, the measure of angle 9 is 80 degrees, and the measure of angle 5 is 68. So let's go ahead and plot that information in there. We have 80 degrees and 68 degrees. It's very important to note which lines are considered parallel. So we've got these markings here at the top, so that tells me W is parallel to V, but we are missing those markings on P and Q. So we cannot make any sort of assumption that P and Q are parallel and therefore have the same relationships that lines W and V will have. So let's take a look at the measure of angle 2. So angle 2 is on line W with the transversal P. So we want to compare that to our angles on the top right corner. So of our 4 corners between our parallels and our transversals, 2 is in the top left corner, and we're going to focus on things on line V in the top right corner. So angle 2 is right here. And let's see, we know it can have a relationship with angle 9. Those are same side interior angles. So by the same side interior theorem, so same side interior, that tells me that they are, what everybody? Supplementary. So I know that the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 9 equals 180. So if I know 9 is 80, we can, through algebra, plug that 80 in and realize that the measure of angle 2 is 100 degrees. All right, let's take a look at another one. The measure of angle 1. So this guy over here. What can we recall about the relationship between angle 1 and something else? How about angle 1 and angle 2? What do we know about angle 1 and angle 2? Well, they're linear pairs, so we can absolutely use something like that. But we can also see, and sometimes it helps to turn your picture, your diagram, to a different angle so that your parallel lines are horizontal. That might help you. It's really up to you. But we can also see that angle 1 is corresponding to angle 9. So those two will be congruent to each other. So since they're going to be congruent, we can say that angle 1 is also going to be angle degrees, 80 degrees, and that's going to be corresponding angles postulates. Okay, let's knock out another one. Let's see what we have. The measure of angle 3. Well, angle 1 and angle 3 is an option. They're vertical angles. We also know that angle 3 and angle 9 are same side interior angles. Same side interior angles. Alternate interior angles. I'm reading one thing, saying another thing. Sorry, guys. Angle 3 and angle 9 are alternate interior angles. That's what I get for reading something else as I'm trying to speak. It doesn't work out very well. So alternate interior angles. So 3 is congruent to 9, and we already know that 9 is 80 degrees. So therefore, 3 is also 80 degrees. Okay. Let's see, the measure of angle 15. So we're going to move down towards the lower right side. We have 15 over here. And the information that we have about this transversal Q and our parallel lines W and V is 68. This is the only information we have about this set of angles right now. So if we look at the relationship between angle 5 and angle 15, we can see that they are on the exterior of our parallel lines, and they are on alternate sides. So they are alternate exterior angles, which are congruent. So angle 15, which is over here, actually, let's do this. Just going to drag all that over here. And say that this is 68 degrees. Okay. Now we have the measure of angle 13. So if we look at 13, which is over here, we can also see it has a relationship with angle 5, and that's going to be a corresponding. So we have another pair of corresponding angles by the corresponding angles postulate, which tells us that they are congruent. So the measure of angle 13 is also 68 degrees. Okay, now let's look at the measure of angle 16. So 16 is over here, and we know it is a part of, or a linear pair with 15, which is totally fine. We also can use angle 13, which it is also a linear pair with. So we can say, by the linear pair theorem, we know the measure of angle 16 plus the measure of angle 13 equals 180. Because they're supplementary. And since 13 is 68, we just subtract that from 180. And that's going to give us 112 degrees. Alrighty.